Morning, all. All right, so we got 8 games tonight in the National Hockey League, so the same as last night. The time distribution's a little different. We got 3 starting at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Then a half an hour later, the fourth game starts. A half an hour later, the next two. And then the seventh game starts at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 Eastern. And then there's a 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock start as well. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Washington Capitals and the Buffalo Sabres. For the Sabres, their playoff hopes and dreams are hanging by a thread. They have to win this one. Washington won the first matchup in overtime 4-3 on November 22nd. These teams will meet again in 9 days on April the 11th. For the Caps, they're 36-27-10 overall. They're 8-5-1 over the last month. Strome's been their leading scorer over that time. 14 games, 3 goals, 12 assists, 16 points. Lapierre has been quite good for them in 14 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. Pacioretty just has 5 assists during that same time period. It's interesting to watch. Pacioretty's not playing badly, just not getting the goals. They're 7 points back of Tampa Bay. They are tied with Detroit in the standings, and of course, they're right next to Philly there in terms of that race for third in the division. So not a lot is settled yet in the East. On the Buffalo side, they're 35-35-5. They're 6-7-1 over the last month. Like I said, 7 points outside of a playoff spot. They're not going to get there, but if they can win tonight, they can keep those playoff hopes alive. Thompson, their leading scorer over the last month, 13 games, 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points for him. Skinner's playing game number 1,000 tonight. He's played 14 in the last month, 4 goals, 2 assists for him there. Yoki Haru has 2 assists in 14 games over that time, but he's been prominent in games, so maybe he's due for a goal. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Florida and Montreal. Florida's won the first 3, so they're looking to sweep a 4-game season series. November 30th, 5-1. December 30th, 4-1. February 29th, 4-3 in a shootout for Florida that night. Florida's 47-23-5 overall. They're 6-7-1 over the last month. I know there's a lot of concern in Florida fandom about the Panthers. I don't feel it yet. I don't know. I still look at this team and go, they're stacked. They'll figure it out when the playoffs roll around. Reinhart, 14 games, 10 goals, 5 assists, 15 points to lead the team in scoring over the last month. Verhaeghe, 3 goals, 5 assists over that same time period, so 8 points for him. Evan Rodriguez, kind of quiet, 2 goals in 12 games over the last month. Florida sits 2 points back of Boston for the top spot in the division. They're now only 4 points ahead of Toronto. For the Montreal Canadiens, they're 28-33-12 overall. They're 5-5-2 over the last month. Suzuki, their leading scorer, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points in the 12 games played in the past month. Newhook's had 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. Harvey Pinard, just the 1 assist in 12 games. He's got to be due. Get him a goal. All right, Pittsburgh and New Jersey starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific as well. New Jersey's won the first 2 meetings on November 16th, 5-2, March the 19th. 5-2 as well. So we'll see if the score is 5-2 tonight. The Penguins are 33-30-11 overall. They're 6-7-3 over the last month. Crosby, their leading scorer in that time. 16 games, 5 goals, 14 assists, 19 points. Riley Smith has 2 goals and 8 assists for 10 points over that time. Puljujarvi, in the 9 games he's played in the last month, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. On the New Jersey side, they're 36-34-4 overall. They're 6-8 over the last month. Timo Meier, their leading scorer, 14 games, 12 goals, 7 assists, 19 points. Again, over the last month, of course. Jesper Bratt, 2 goals, 9 assists, so he has 11 points in 14 games. Nemitz, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points on the blue line in 13 games for Nemitz. New Jersey sits 6 points back of a playoff spot. Pittsburgh, 5 points back. Again, you're looking at 2 teams that are unlikely to make it, but it should be a playoff-like battle between the 2 tonight. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, the Chicago Blackhawks and the New York Islanders. Get at it. Chicago won the first matchup in overtime 4-3 on January 19th. Chicago's 22-47-5, and don't look now. They've been good over the last month. They've been 7-6 over that time. Bedard leading them in scoring with 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points in 13 games. All the talk about Calder, I still don't see how Bedard doesn't win it. Foligno, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points for Foligno in 13 games. And Vlasic, a lot of talk about how solid Vlasic is as a defenseman. Yes, 4 assists in 13 games. And I think as the years go by, we'll see more points getting added to his totals as well. I've been impressed with him. Of course, Chicago, 38 points back of a playoff spot, mathematically eliminated quite some time ago. For the Islanders, 31, 27, and 15 is their record. They're 6, 7, and 1 over the last month, but they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. So with a win over Chicago tonight, the Islanders can stay in the hunt. Horvat, their leading scorer over the last month, 14 games, 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points for Bo. Palmieri, 6 goals, 1 assist over that same time period. And Noah Dobson's gone kind of quiet. 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points in 14 games. I've talked about how his plus minus has taken a bit of a beating lately. So for Dobson, really, really strong finish to the season could help end up pushing the Islanders over that hump and maybe get into a playoff spot. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between the Ottawa Senators and the Minnesota Wild on November 18th. It was a shootout victory for Ottawa, 2-1. The Sens are 33, 36, and 4. And again, don't look now, they're 8, 5, and 1 in the last month. So at the end of the season, they can tell us, hey, we had a pretty strong finish to the season. Sounds familiar. They're 12 points back of a playoff spot. Matthew Tkachuk is in Florida. Brady Tkachuk is in Ottawa. 14 games, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. I caught it. I absolutely caught it. It's because I had a full night's sleep. Kastelik, 14 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points, but I wanted to highlight him because he's been a +6. I think Kastelik's been playing really well for them lately. Kubalik, 2 goals in 14 games, no assists. They do need a little more out of Kubalik. On the Minnesota side, they're 35, 29, and 9. They're 7, 2, and 3 over the last month. They're 8 points back of a playoff spot. Kaprizov, 12 games, 11 goals, 8 assists, 19 points for Kirill. Faber, 12 games, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. He's playing well, and of course, he's in the Calder chase. And Kuznetsov, in the 7 games he's played with Minnesota, he's got 1 assist, but he's been close to a goal over the last couple of games, so I feel like he's kind of due tonight. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start as well between the Boston Bruins and the Nashville Predators. Boston won the first matchup on October 14th by a score of 3-2. Now for Boston, they're 43, 17, and 15. They're 2 points ahead of Florida, 6 points ahead of Toronto atop the division. Pastrnak, their leading scorer for the team that's been 8, 4, and 1 over the last month. 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points in 13 games. Marchand not getting the goals lately, just 1 goal, 9 assists for him over that same time period. Charlie Coyle's scoring's dropped off a bit as well, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points in 13 games. For Nashville, they're 43, 27, and 4 overall. They're 8, 2, and 2 over the last month. Forsberg, 12 games, 12 goals, 10 assists, 22 points for Philip Forsberg. McCarron, a very prominent player. You don't get as many points as you think you might. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points in 12 games for McCarron. But he's been very, very good for them this year. Tyson Barrie, in the 6 games he's played, 3 assists. And I think Barrie's looked good in the games he's been in. They're 6 points back of Winnipeg. They're 3 points ahead of the LA Kings in terms of playoff positioning at this point. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, Anaheim and Calgary. Calgary won the first meeting December 21st by a score of 3-0. These teams meet again on April the 12th. For Anaheim, they're 24, 47, and 4. Rough last month for them. 2, 12, and 1 over the last month. Killorn, their leading scorer over that time, 15 games, 7 goals, 1 assist, 8 points. Frankie Vetrano, 15 games, 1 goal, 4 assists for Vetrano for just 5 points. And Mason McTavish has 1 goal, just a single 1 goal over 11 games. And Anaheim, of course, sitting 35 points out of the playoffs. They were mathematically eliminated a while ago as well. Calgary, 34, 34, and 5 overall. They're 4 and 9 over the last month. Sharon Govich leading him in scoring over that same time period. 7 goals, 5 assists, 12 points in 13 games. Kuzmenko's been quite good for them lately. 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in 11 games. It's the closest to figuring it out Kuzmenko's looked during this season, either in his time in Vancouver or Calgary. Shillington, 2 assists in 12 games over the last month as well. They are 14 points out of the playoffs, those Calgary Flames. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks. On November 30th, Vegas won the first meeting 4-1. On March the 7th, Vancouver won 3-1. These teams meet again on April the 8th, that one in Vancouver, of course. Vancouver's 46, 20, and 8 overall. They're 8, 3, and 1 over the last month. JT Miller, 12 games, 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points is their leading scorer over that time period. Brock Besser, the scoring has definitely slowed down from where it was earlier, but he's had some goals lately. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points in 12 games for Besser. Dakota Joshua, the 2 games since he came back, he's been great. He's got 2 goals. Of course, those both being in the game most recently against Anaheim. We'll see how things go against Vegas. Vancouver sits 5 points ahead of Edmonton, 10 points ahead of Vegas. So Vegas can do themselves a favor and help out Edmonton too. If they win tonight, they're 41-25-8 overall. They're 8-4-1 over the last month. Jack Eichel, their leading scorer over that time, with 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 points in 13 games. Shea Theodore, 1 goal, 9 assists, 10 points in 13 games. Not too shabby. And Roy, just the 3 assists in 13 games. Looking for a little bit more from Nick Roy. They sit 3 points ahead of the LA Kings do those Vegas Golden Knights. So they can really solidify their hold on third place. They could also move a little bit closer to the second place Oilers, who they sit 5 points behind. Let me know your picks in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.